It's Tuesday, March 26th. Matt McGaw coming to you live with the 330 to go sports talk show. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Can't complain on my end. Let me make sure I spelled this right because I do have somebody who is on my grammar 24/7. If Mike is watching and I misspell another word and I have to hear him tell me that I don't know how to spell. There he is. There's Mike. There he is. Plain as day. I knew that if I misspelled that word, Mike, I would have you telling me how, I'm just stupid. Okay. So let's just get right down to it, guys. We are here. A lot going on. March Madness. You see my eyes? I'm trying to keep up with everything. The lack of sleep is because it's been absolutely a fun-filled Thursday through Sunday on the men's and the women's side. Before we get into that, though, I'm going to run across the bottom. You guys, go ahead and take a look. A little bit of a recent scores update, and a lot more of the NBA scores are on here. I was going to go in and put all of the collegiate, and I'll be honest with you, when I got through like the 1,000th character on there of typing the men's and women's, it just didn't look right, and I opted out. So I'm going to talk through some of those scores a little bit today. Checking out the comments. There's Mike. Love you too, bud. Lots of love going your way. So wrapping up, high school basketball finished up on Sunday. Wrapping up everything, starting off with Division 4 on Friday. Berlin Hiland beat Lima Central 62-59. That took 2 overtimes. But Berlin Hiland was able to move on to the finals where they faced off against a Richmond Heights team who beat Russia 65-52 on Friday's action, with ultimately Richmond Heights picking up the Division 4 crown 62-35. Congrats to them. Over on the Division 3 on the Friday action, Canal Winchester 61 over Ottawa Glendorf. And Lutheran East moves on as well, beating Camden Preble 63-44 with the final culmination of the Division 3 of Lutheran East 45 over Canal Winchester 36. Crazy times. I can remember being in high school, and I remember when St. V played Canal Winchester, and it was just an electric game. And it's just, I don't know, to see those names and be here 20-something years later, it's just, a blast from the past. Division 2, Kettering Altar kicked off on Saturday against Youngstown Ursuline, winning 73-37, and Zanesville-Maysville 68 over Shelby's 65. So the final for the Division 2 state championship was Kettering Altar against Maysville, and Kettering Altar picks it up 68-54. Over on the Division 1 side of things, St. Ignatius had a nail-biter 54-53 against Delaware Hayes, and Centerville beat Toledo Whitmer 58-39, with the eventual championship going to the St. Ignatius Wildcats 66 over Centerville 56. That wraps up high school basketball, and what a season it was. Absolutely amazing. We're going to still have a little more to come here in the coming days and the weeks as we do the shows, because they have been putting out all Ohio, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, Division 4, men's and women's. So on the women's side, I was able to get this information. All right. And this is only Division, I believe, 3 and 4. Let me make sure I have that correct as I just opened my mouth acting like I knew what I was talking about. So I pulled this stuff off. I went through and was highlighting names of local to 330. If I miss anybody, I misspell it. This is my apologies right off the rip. I still want to highlight these young ladies that had the opportunity. So for the 2024 Division 3 girls basketball All Ohio teams, on the first team, Alyssa Geyser from Apple Creek. She's a 5'7" senior. She got nominated for first team. And the second team, Leah Bacorn from Tuscarawas Valley, 5'8", and Caitlin Titler from Worcester's Triway, 5'8" senior. Congratulations to those two ladies. On the third team, Naomi Keeb from Smithville, 6' senior. Ira Reagan from Doylestown, Chippewa, 5'8" sophomore. Promising future for the sophomore there and Miss Reagan. So congrats to her. Moving on for the special mention, We had Kaylee Norris from Tuscarawas Valley, 5'9" junior. Destiny Dolska. Oh, gosh, here we go. Dolk Oski, sorry. Maslin Tuslaw, 6'1" junior. Oh, man, I butchered this one too. Nadia, sorry, my gosh. Wow, why didn't I see that? Nadia Lowe from Rootstown, 5'11" junior. Aaliyah Worth, Worcester Triway, 5'8" senior. She wraps up the special mentioned area. Moving over to the honorable mention, Pam Kadaktrich from Buckeye Local, 5'9" senior. Lucy Levengood from Tuscarawas Valley, 5'8" senior. Sally Ray from Tuscarawas Valley, 6 foot senior. Brenda McCabe from Maslin's Tuslaw, 5'10" junior. Maddie Singer from Smithville, 5'9" junior. McKenna Bainey from Apple Creek, 5'8" senior. And Elena Moyer from Doylestown, Chippewa, 5'9" junior. So those are the ladies for the Division III that had made either first team, second team, third team, special mention, honorable mention. Congrats. Basically, you had a hell of a season. Congrats to you guys. So, got to be proud parents, proud athletes out there. Congrats to those. On the Division IV side of things, didn't have anybody in the area on first team, second team that I had noticed, but on third team, Ella Proper from Danville, 5'6" senior, was able to pull it out. Special mention area, Audrey Wade from East Canton, a 5'8" senior. Moving over on the special mentioned, we had Lily Belden from Canton Central Catholic, 5'10" sophomore. Ava Darney from Warren JFK, 5'11" senior. Brooke McIntyre from Mogador, 5'2" senior. And Pillar Hampton from Akron Elms, 5'9" junior. Moving on with the honorable mention, Grace Finfrock from Canton Central Catholic, 5'5" freshman. Ooh, that's promising. Got 4 more years of that. So Canton Central building something down there. And also Dee Dee Ryan from Warren JFK. She is a 5'5" freshman as well. With Amelia Morris from Mogador, 5'7" junior. And Grace DeFore from Dalton, 5'7" sophomore. So congratulations to all of those ladies from Division III, Division IV for representing the school and putting in all that hard work that led to a spectacular season and the opportunity to be named to the Division III, Division IV. So Division II, Division I will be coming out later. As those come out, I will drop those. And then also with the boys side, I'll definitely bring that out. Guys, as I completely forgot, like, share, subscribe, please. See, I'm completely off. That weekend of March Madness has me completely discombobulated, and I am absolutely all over the place right now. So, guys, please give me a like, give me a share, give me a follow. I'm going to say that a couple more times, hopefully, if I remember during the show. Moving on over on the NBA scores, like I said, we ran a few more. Usually we just have the Cavs up there. The Cavs were able to pull out a nice win, get back on the the winning ways, as Evan Mobley basically just had a night. I thought, he was coming off that embarrassing. We were coming off that embarrassing loss in Miami, but they were able to get things back on track with the Hornets. All right, so Celtics last night, other NBA news. The Celts absolutely look dominant this whole year, and they looked dominant last night as they were up 30 points, and then they straight up blew it against the Atlanta Hawks as the Hawks come back and win 120-118 over the Boston Celtics. Over on the Knicks side of things, if anybody had the opportunity to watch that as well or catch up on highlights this morning, there was a 3-point frenzy. And there was a very unhappy Detroit coach who was complaining about that he just doesn't like to see those kind of threes, which I was absolutely confused by. I thought Josh Hart, the player for the Knicks, had a great answer. If you don't like seeing those threes and that's not the part of the game you want to be a part of, maybe teach your team to play some defense, because that would have been beneficial last night. The Knicks, DiVincenzo goes off for a franchise record 11 threes for 40 points as well. So have a night. If anybody had a chance, there was a kid that in March Madness was very special, played at Villanova. Am I saying that right? Was it Villanova? I think it was Villanova. Somebody fact check me on that. So we had Jay Davis jumping in. What's up, 330? It's good. Thanks for joining us this morning, Jay. thanks for joining us, bud. Moving along, we had the Nets beat the Raptors last night, 96-88. Raptors are now 11 straight losses. Good for them. So congratulations, Raptors. You guys are moving in completely the wrong way. The Spurs, there was no Wemby last night, and it was no problem because the Phoenix Suns had similar ways of the Celtics and let the Spurs sneak back in it as the Spurs win 104-102. Houston's Jalen Green continues his early career ways of kind of making himself into one of the dominant forces in the NBA and trying to resurrect the Houston Rockets. And they continue that as they pick up their 9th straight win. All right. 110-92 over the Portland Trailblazers. Over on the other side of odd and winning ways of streaks, guess who has 3 wins in a row? It reminds you of Major League when the manager comes down and goes, guys, we won one today, we win one tomorrow. That's called a winning streak. Well, the Washington Wizards must have taken notice because they've got 3 straight wins off of a 107-105 win over the Chicago Bulls. The Nuggets they're the best team. Are they not going to repeat? I just don't see anybody beating them. It's like the most boring basketball, but like the funnest to watch because it's very fundamentally sound. And we'll get into one of the Nuggets players' brothers is landed himself in a little bit of trouble here shortly. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Mr. Porter, you are in trouble, buddy. So I will get to that here shortly. But last night, again, the Nuggets pick up a win, 128-103. Luka with a triple-double last night with the 115 over the Jazz's 105. Luka's a special player. I think it's going to be even scarier when him and Jokic team up later. And I think that's going to happen. And it's not going to be good for the NBA at all. Sacramento. Let's give a shout out to this man right here. Anybody had a chance to see it last night? Sabonis is your new double king. This man has just been on a tear. And as you can also see right there at the bottom, that is Mr. Kevin Love, giving him a little bit of a congratulations. To put these two stats up side by side, there's where you have it. Kevin Love, he just passed. He had 53 for the longest double-double streak since the NBA merger in 1976. When Kevin Love was with the Minnesota Timberwolves, he was by far one of my most favorite players. Like, I was playing a lot of fantasy basketball at that time, and Kevin Love was like my first-round pick every year. I absolutely it was like a man crush on this guy because he just went out, like he just played it well. I like the rebound game. I like those bigger guys, that get in there, bang on the boards and be able to kind of play within the interior of the paint. So Sabonis, yeah, you are far better than your father. So he is your new double king, and congrats, my man. And the Sacramento Kings pick up a 108 win over a Joel Embiid-less Philadelphia team of 96 points. And then at the very end, the Clippers fall 116 to the Indiana Pacers 133. There was absolutely no defense in that game. That's ridiculous. The NBA has the ability to really make people question if anybody knows how to play basketball at times. Don't get me wrong. They're phenomenal athletes, but there's zero defense. So, here we go. 227 double-doubles by Wilt. Wow. That's crazy. Who was Oakland? It was Jack. Maybe I'm seeing these comments come in and they might be on other responds and I'm not quite following along. But Luke Wilt has 227 double-doubles. That's crazy. That's a huge number. Definitely a huge number there. So NBA wraps up with all that. And what else news is going on? But now we're at the brackets, and I want to move right over because I have it right here. I was looking at it, and right now in the group, let's go ahead and pull up the group. I am showing in 4th place. Wow, you guys are bad. How am I in 4th place? You guys are. There's absolutely Joe. Joe is in 1st place, and Joe has the UConn Huskies, as do I. moving down through the list, I'm looking to see. I know Mike filled out like 375 brackets, but he picked the wrong one. 374 of the brackets are doing really, really well, except for the one that Mike put in 330. And that one, I don't know if is doing as well as the other ones. And I'm being incredibly sarcastic. I'm teasing because Mike filled out a ton of them. I think it was only 15, but still, Mike is sitting back at 25th. And there's like 3 pages. So I'm going to skip page 2 and I'm going to go right to page 3 because I have a feeling. Let's see if my gut feeling is there. Where is Hank at? Oh, there he is, 64th. Oh, you stink. You are horrible. But one thing I think we all had in common is we all picked UConn. So I guess we do think alike in some ways, right? So going back to my bracket right now, where this is like honest to God, no lie, the first time I've looked at it since I filled it out. And I know that I had Kentucky, and that was a poo-poo platter that I served up right there. But as I'm looking at this right now, I probably have no chance of winning this. I really don't. I don't. My points are not enough. I don't think I have enough potential points. And oh my God, I had Kentucky in the championship game. What was I thinking? Holy cow! What a moron. All right, so I'm definitely not going to win. So this is good news for everybody else who filled it out because you're going to get a chance to win that money. Just got to come back and somehow beat Joe. If Joe wins the whole thing, does that mean that we all get to have like a staff meeting and we can have like an in-service and get lunch? I think that's exactly what should happen. You said the kid in the NCAA tourney went off. I was referring to Vincenzo from the Knicks, DiVincenzo, or however you say the gentleman's name, because I can't pronounce that either here on this Tuesday. So the struggle bus continues. So moving on, we will definitely get into a lot of the NCAA on Thursday and some of the matchups, but the ladies has been no slouch either. The Ohio State Buckeyes fall to the Duke Lady Blue Devils this past weekend on their own home court. That was kind of a sad thing to see Ohio State, who was a 2 seed. You know, everyone says it's an upset, but 7 seed, I think it's all kind of the same. Was it me or was the first 2 round games more competitive than Saturday and Sunday? I felt like there were good games on Saturday and Sunday, but there just seemed like there was more intensity on Thursday and Friday. Duquesne was the highlight. If we go back and watch the show, which I thought was great, I talked about Oregon and I said, watch Oregon. But as I just looked at my bracket, as I was doing this, guess what I figured out? I didn't pick Oregon. So I didn't even listen to my own advice. So another boneheaded move by Matt. And I apologize, guys. You know, you got to put your money where your mouth is. And I wasn't able to do that with the whole Oregon. I don't know why I wouldn't fill that out. And then I talked about them, but I liked Oregon. But the Duquesne Dukies, they pulled off the huge upset. That was a lot of fun to be able to watch that game. Other news going around. I don't know if you guys saw Jimmy Haslam comes out and says, hey, we're thinking about it. All right. We are thinking about moving over there by the airport. And if we do that, we're putting a dome up. All right. So if you guys take a look right now, here's kind of a breakdown if you can kind of see it. So those highlighted areas, there's the 176 acres is at the top. That's what's up there in the orange. That's the possible location for the new Brown Stadium. As you can see, the Rapid is still there. So what they're probably thinking is that Rapid is going to be like probably the main way to be able to get in there. And then also right next door, Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. So scenic wise, you're still going to see some of Cleveland, but the reason they're looking to move out there is Haslam has talked everything about putting a dome on. That's his idea. He wants to be able to do that. He said, I can have 12 more events. I have 12 events right now. I can have way more than 12 events every year. Why would you not? It's kind of a no-brainer. Me personally, I've said it before. I'll say it again. If you put a dome on, make it retractable. Do you know how cool that would be if you make it like in December when you know it's going to be like kind of weather and you just said, hey, we're having a throwback game today. We're going to have a throwback. We're opening the dome up. We're letting the snow in. We're letting the weather in. You know what's going to happen is people like right now, they're like, oh, we don't want a dome. That's Cleveland. We're hard nosed. Okay. That's not what we're here to do. Those are the people that are like, oh, what a great idea. But once you get your cozy little butt into those seats and it's warm and you take off your jacket, you're in your t-shirt and you're enjoying that dome, and they're like, oh, we're going to open it up and let the snow in, people will lose their minds. Okay. No one's ever going to be truly happy, but it'd be a cool concept because that would actually drive people to the stadium, I think. Just my theory of thought. This kind of gives a little bit more of that breakdown, as you can see from another angle. That is a huge plot of land that is going to be there. So Jimmy is going to basically build Jimmy's World. All right. Now, he said if we stick around at Cleveland, you guys do renovations, we're going to need a dome. This is what they're talking about. It would potentially look like if they even stayed next to the lake. Guys, that looks stupid. Does it not? Does that not look dumb? As soon as I saw that, I want to know what runs through anybody's head. What do you think that is? It looks dumb. It looks like this. Does anybody know what this is from? Yeah, that's The Simpsons. Okay, that is The Simpsons right there. Remember when Homer created the problem and fell through the sink? The sinkhole is what saved him here. That's how they were able to get out. But that's exactly what I think of when they just want to put a cup on top of the current Browns stadium. That makes zero sense to me. If you're going to stay there, I don't really know what upgrades. I think inevitably the Browns are moving. You're not going to want to be able to put the renovation dollars into that because it's still not going to be that state of the art. If you go over and put it by the airport, I think it's going to look absolutely gorgeous over there. I like the idea with the whole concept of open the dome up once a year. I think people will really, really get a kick out of that. That's just my thought. So lots going on with the Browns. They're having a lot of meetings. We're now starting to see the coaches come out and talk. NFL news is going to start heating up. Pittsburgh is definitely the hot topic. Everybody loved that talking to Tomlin because they're so intrigued by the Wilson Fields, and we'll follow that definitely more as we move closer and closer to the draft. Once we get in to like April for sure, okay, I'm 100%. We'll start doing mock drafts. I think those would be fun. I always got into those. Even though the Browns have some late picks, we'll do some crazy mocks out and think about what the Browns will do with those later picks if we don't trade them by then, which I'm okay trading them because I think then it's tough to screw up the draft when you have no draft picks. So Katie says, as much as she would like them to stay downtown, it's hard to argue with the idea of a dome, especially after what happened at the KC playoff game. Absolutely. That was absolutely crazy. Nuts, cold, frigid. Still can't believe his helmet cracked. That to me was one of the oddest things I've ever seen. So the NFL is going through all that. Rule changes are coming. I'm going to talk about that a little bit as well on Thursday. They're looking at the hip drop, getting rid of that tackle. They're talking about messing with the play clock. They're talking about the reviews. They're talking about kickoff and changing that because guess how many kickoff returns there were last year? 7. That's sad. Just get rid of it. So I think what they're trying to look to do is that they're going to go with this proposed idea, maybe similar to what the XFL is doing. So they're still in talks. I want to say the next meeting is like May-ish or something that they're supposed to meet. So I think those changes, we'll see those happening as we move kind of into the summer. But definitely the conversation is getting hot and heavy on that hip drop because if anybody saw the Mark Andrews injury this year, nobody wants that to happen. It's very difficult to be able to do that. But there is some discrepancy in there about exactly what kind of tackle, and I think people will get confused, and that's why I wanted to get more clarification on exactly what that is. So the owners are meeting today, yes, but there is another one. I thought it was May 20th. I don't know why I'm throwing that out there. I could be just making things up as normal, but that very well will be conversation that they will be having as they're moving through these potential changes. All right. And the other big hot news in the sports world is gambling. Okay. All right. And you know what, before I get too far out of the Browns, this is what I thought of when they were talking about the Browns having more room. Do you know what? This is how my mind works. All right, here's an insight. This is exactly
Finish. You did. It looked amazing. Look at that. That looks like what you would buy from a store. It should have been. Look at all the sports space. So much aerobics in here. So many activities. Do step class. It's making my head spin. How many activities we can do? Play Army Man. This is how we do it. Da, 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 da. Hey, I never asked you. Yeah. You like guacamole? Ah!
By far one of my favorite movies all time. I feel like that's what Jimmy Haslam was saying when he's like, we could go out by the airport, have so much more room for activities. That's what he was pretty much saying when he was talking about how there's only 12 events that he has a year. And just that ending part is like, I forgot to ask you, do you like guacamole? Like, that is the dumbest comment, but there's my odd humor. So I saw that and I wish I'd have played that right when we went over to that segment, because I was scrolling down to find this video clip. And this is how we're going to segue into the betting world. Anybody remember this one? This is what I thought of with the current fiasco in the betting world.
Understand something. The friends of the program are my friends, and they are friends for life. What they've done is untraceable. What I've done is unprovable. There will be no smoking gun because I am the smoking gun. Now relax. It's all working.
Nick Nolte's face of how stupid that sounded is about how everybody's probably looking at what's going on. And here is your smoking gun. This is Apia Mazahua. I know I did not pronounce that right, but this is the interpreter for Otani. And this is supposedly the smoking gun, because if you guys haven't been following, Otani is in the news for allegedly sports gambling. Guys, sports gambling is absolutely everywhere. Anybody who thinks that all of a sudden this is going to be a problem, no, they're bringing light to the fact that there have been so many fixed games over the years. And these sports players are, they're athletes at first and they have a job to do. It's tough not to say that they shouldn't be allowed to bet on other sports. I think if that's definitely should be allowed. But I think when they get into gambling, it just interlines so much. And these guys have so many inside tips with baseball. You would hate to see that happening. And baseball is such a every pitch matters game. So it definitely is going to be interesting how this all kind of plays out. Shohei Ohtani, as you can see him right here. And then the guy at the bottom, you're probably wondering who that is. No, that is not Drake dressed up in a Raptors uniform. That is Jonte Porter, which I believe this is Michael Porter's brother. All right. This guy, though, is not, he doesn't have a smoking gun. He is the smoking gun. And here's what's happened with him. He's in a lot of trouble. Okay. Because they actually have it documented on prop bets. So if anybody's not familiar, prop bets, you can go in like right now, you could say, what is the over under of Matt mispronouncing people's last names? Could be 5 or 6 per show. So you would bet, yeah, Matt's going to screw that up 5 times. So I'll take over. Or you could have a ton of false belief, faith in me and go 5 under. Those are prop bets essentially. Okay. So during the NBA, does Kyrie score 20 plus points a game? And you can like parlay that with other things. Well, this Mr. Porter, there's some prop bets on him and he took himself out of the game. Like he was like, nah, I'm about to go over like 10 points. I'm going to take myself out and fake this injury with 8. That's literally what was happening. There's a player, not a huge name, still an exceptional athlete because he is in the NBA. You know how difficult that is to make it there. But sometimes those guys get there and they're not able to have that lustrous career that a Luka can have, or Kyrie, or LeBron. I mean, LeBron's on another level of his own, but Porter is not going to be that guy. Okay. So he's probably not going to get another huge contract. So he's taking advantage of the opportunity to put prop bets in on himself. And he's then just leaving the game so that he makes sure he hits it. So his prop bet, I think on one of them was like 12 points and he was close to going over that. So he took himself out so that he ensured that he was under. That's a problem. that Mr. Porter, you need a smoking gun, and you, I think, will probably be out of the league rather quick, sitting next to Mr. Who is the referee? Donahue? Wasn't that the guy that got in a lot of trouble? So there's going to be a place for him. So he'll be on that new blacklisted NBA sheet that they have, because it kind of seems like there's a little more substance to his allegations. Ohtani's, there's his interpreter, there's money exchange, there's he said, she said, there's a lot going on. At the end of the day, we're going to see a whole lot more of this over the years. As soon as they opened up Pandora's box and allowed you to gamble and bet, wow. I mean, this stuff's going to happen. You're going to start having a lot more records. I love to do it. I put a lot of, that $1, $5 bets in through the, I like that MGM app. I think that's just what works for me, but this is going to be a problem. And how often do you bet on something like, oh my God, this game's fixed? It is. You're just hoping that you're on the right side of the fix. So best of luck to all those guys involved in that. It doesn't look good for Mr. Porter as things continue to move forward. Guys, always on Mondays and Wednesdays, Mrs. Jessica Bader jumps on here and does a great job crushing the morning show. If you guys didn't have a chance to catch up on it yesterday, please do so. And as you know, I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Mike will be rolling through on Wednesdays to break up the chaos. And then always on Thursdays, Mr. Sam Amico gets on and gives you all the Cavs talk that he can. So he's definitely going to have a lot going on here in the coming days as the Cavs. Let me check out their schedule. Our prediction was pretty right last week when we talked about what they needed to do. They get the Hornets on Wednesday. That should definitely be that should be a potential win. I would think that they're going to have to win that one, because that schedule does not get any easier as I was looking at it there for a second. The 76ers back at home on Friday. That's a great one. But then you're going to head out west and you get the Nuggets, and that'll be at 3:30. I believe that one is on Sunday. And then they come back with the Jazz. Oh, wow. That's a rough road right there. You get the Nuggets, the Jazz, the Suns, and the Suns need to turn it on. The Lakers and the Clippers. Gauntlet right there. So let's just go out on our limb right now and do our prediction. Over that, I'm going to say 2-1, 3-2. Oh yeah, wait, I can't add. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. 5-2, 4-3, 5-2. Do you guys think that would be a good record over that little stretch? But we could dive more into that on Thursday as we get more back into it. Guys, anybody buying, selling, go hit me up. All right. I'm happy to help you guys with that process in the real estate market. Always here. Give me a buzz. Give me a call. You guys know where my information is. You can always see down in the descriptions. I will have my info there. Leave me a couple of comments. Give me some stuff to talk about on Thursday. We are starting to dwindle down with sports, even though it seems like it's a chaotic, crazy time. March Madness is definitely upon us, but we are dwindling out of high school sports the winter, and now we're going to be moving into the fall. So got a couple of things in store. I've been reaching out to a few people to try to get on here to get a few more interviews, because I know you guys always love to listen to me talk, but it's always nicer to hear somebody else. If you haven't seen any of the shows previously, last week on Thursday, we had a great interview. You guys should definitely go back and check that out. That was a lot of fun to be able to have that anytime. It's pretty much like Demand. Just go back, click a video, scroll down, click. You can always go back and relive all the magic of these shows. So back here again on Thursday, 9 a.m. I am Matt McGall, and I appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. I will see you guys back here on Thursday at 9. Guys, take care. Have a great rest of the day.